in Indiana should be outraged.
Now at 5, a legal expert says she's shocked by a local school district's handling of a child seduction case involving a teacher. What she says we all need to know.
A lot of people just see, the story at the beginning. They don't get to see what these boxes are doing for families.
Tonight, RTV6 is sitting down with the parents who adopted the very first baby in Indiana, surrendered by her mother in a safe haven baby box.
And then friends and family will gather in Indianapolis for the funeral of John Andretti. When and where you can pay your respects to the veteran racer.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Right now at 5, a law professor who specializes in sex crimes law says the Northwest Hendricks school system failed one of its students.
Tri-West coach and teacher Tyler Bruce was charged this week with child seduction for his alleged relationship with a student.
Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny asked an expert to weigh in and found this case is a shocking reminder of our duty to protect children in Indiana.
We asked a sexual harassment law professor here at the IU McKinney School of Law about the Tri-West child seduction case. Dr. Jennifer Droback has one word for it: shocking. Dr. Jennifer Droback teaches sexual harassment law and has written books on the sexual exploitation of teenagers. She reviewed court documents in the Tyler Bruce case. The Tri-West high school teacher and coach is charged with child seduction for an alleged inappropriate relationship with a 17-year-old student. Court documents show the school became aware of the allegations in February. Court documents say then Principal Adam Benner told other administrators any concerns about Bruce and the student should be brought directly to him. Court documents say the parents and the Department of Child Services were not notified at that time. It wasn't until May that DCS and the Sheriff's Office were made aware and started investigating. And that's when the alleged victim's family finally learned about the case. Dr. Droback says this delay allowed the alleged relationship between Bruce and the student to continue for months.
How would you characterize it?
Shocking. Shocking that this is still happening in Indiana. This is why we have a child abuse problem in Indiana. It should have been investigated. And the fact that parents didn't know, the police didn't know, school officials didn't report this is not debatable. This is clearly, if true, a violation of law, and this child was not protected.
Dr. Droback also questions why the Sheriff's Office did not execute a warrant for Bruce's phone until July, 2 months into the criminal investigation. The Sheriff's Office tells Call 6 Investigates it will not discuss details of the case as it is now in the hands of the prosecutor. Tyler Bruce is charged with obstruction of justice because when detectives closed in, they say Bruce had already removed the SIM card from his phone. Adam Benner resigned from Tri-West back in June and is charged with a misdemeanor of failure to report. Tyler Bruce is expected in court on February 5th. Adam Benner on March 3rd. I'm Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny.
And we are still working to get a response from the school district on Dr. Droback's comments. Now, they told us this week, quote, the board and administration are committed to restoring trust, aggressively reviewing policies and procedures, and seeking remedies to bring harmony back to our community. The safety and security of our students is our foremost responsibility. We look forward to strengthening our community partnerships to protect them while providing the best possible education, end quote. Now, Tyler Bruce is on unpaid suspension. He has not provided a comment on the charges to RTV6. Adam Benner has also not responded to our request for an interview.
RTV6 is working for you and staying on top of the plight of the West Side mobile home residents who are being evicted. Those residents received more relief today. Today, reps from the Indiana Attorney General's office returned to the I-70 mobile home park to deliver more checks to the residents from the owners of the park. RTV6 was the first to expose residents' concerns back in August. At the time, they were told they'd have to leave by October 15th. The eviction was halted after a series of reports filed by RTV6. The Attorney General halted the evictions until each resident received payment for their unmovable mobile home or the title. One resident received a check today for a little more than $3,000.
We were in desperate need of some help because of what the owners have done to us. And I'm happy we got a check for it. The ones that didn't have a title, we were compensated.
The amount the residents are receiving varies, but the total adds up to more than $51,000. The residents have to be out by February 21st.
Tonight, the efforts continue to save the lives of babies across our state. There are now 21 safe haven baby boxes installed at fire stations and hospitals in Indiana. A new one in Johnson County just unveiled today, and for the very first time, RTV6's Nicole Griffin is sitting down with the adoptive parents of the first ever baby surrendered at a baby box in Indiana.
In the back of White River Township Fire Station 53 by the bay doors here is Johnson County's very first safe haven baby box. Today, as they unveiled this to the community, there was a special guest here for everyone to meet.
You know, a lot of people just see, the story at the beginning. They don't get to see what these boxes are doing for families.
But this story is different. Baby Hope, as she's been referred to for the last 2 years, is being introduced to the world. She's the first baby surrendered in Indiana at a safe haven baby box.
Every morning I wake her up, I just say a little prayer and thank God that she's in my crib and in my home, that she's alive and well and happy. And I thank God for the mother that gave her up so that she could be with us and that we can have a healthy, happy life with her.
Misty and Phil Harger of Franklin adopted baby Hope, who they named Grace in May of 2017. It came just months after she was surrendered at the Cool Springs Township Fire Department's baby box in Michigan City. These are photos taken shortly after.
We're not only saving babies, we're building families as well. Being able to show baby Hope today really just shows everyone what they're supporting.
The Hargers say they chose to go public with their story at the unveiling of the baby box in Johnson County because this is their community and they want to continue supporting a cause that is saving lives.
That's why we brought her, because it is a success. I mean, look at her. I mean, she's awesome. We want other people to see that this is a good thing.
5 infants have been safely surrendered in safe haven baby boxes in Indiana since November of 2017. Working for you in Johnson County, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And the safe haven law allows a person to surrender a healthy newborn 30 days old or younger without fear of criminal prosecution. Indiana is one of 5 states with updated safe haven laws. The national hotline is 1-866-99-BABY-1.
Time for your Storm Team 6 forecast, and it's Friday. A lot of people making plans for the weekend.
And mild temperatures for Sunday especially.
Good.
So we've got some sunshine on the way. First, did you have any snow today? That's an open question mark, depending on where you're at, especially south of Indianapolis. That's where the snow this morning, about a ½ inch. Thanks to Debbie Hostetler for sharing this photo. This was about 9 a.m. this morning down in Lawrence County. Now you see it, now you don't. It is gone, melted away because of temperatures that are close to 40 degrees as you head to the south. Terre Haute's at 41, 39 in Indianapolis, 36 in Peru. These are base temperatures from which will warm up a bit during the day tomorrow and then a lot more on Sunday. Just want to show you this morning's snow is now well off to the east into the Buckeye State, but tomorrow morning's mix potentially of a little rain and snow sits west of the Mississippi for now. During the evening hours tonight, our temperature steady in the 30s. We'll wake up tomorrow morning with the possibility for a rain-snow mix. The probability a little higher in western Indiana, and then you can see we'll dry out. All the weekend details. I'm anxious to tell you how warm it will eventually get in early next week coming up.
We'll see you soon, Kevin. Thank you. Now to the impeachment trial of President Trump. Right now, senators are preparing for a vote late today to reject more efforts to call more witnesses. I want to give you a live picture from inside the chamber there, and as you see, the discussions are going on. Again, we're expecting a vote on whether to allow witnesses coming up and possibly within the hour as we look live at the Senate chamber. 2 key Republicans Democrats were hoping to rely on say they will vote no. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi reports from Capitol Hill.
Senate Democrats making their final bid to change the course of President Trump's impeachment trial.
If my Republican colleagues refuse to consider witnesses and documents in this trial, the president's acquittal will be meaningless because it will be the result of a sham trial.
In the days leading up to this pivotal vote, Democrats have argued their case for new documents and witness testimony, particularly from National Security Advisor John Bolton, who reportedly stated in his unpublished book that President Trump told Bolton he withheld military aid from Ukraine for political purposes. An explosive new report from the New York Times also citing Bolton's unpublished manuscript claims President Trump's lead impeachment attorney, Pat Cipollone, was in the Oval Office during a May 2019 meeting with Bolton, Mick Mulvaney, and Rudy Giuliani when Trump allegedly directed Bolton to press Ukraine's new president to meet with Giuliani, who was trying to gather damaging information on Democrats. The president flatly denies the allegations.
Yet another reason why we ought to hear from witnesses. Just as we predicted, and it didn't require any great act of clairvoyance, the facts will come out.
But the president's legal team countered by saying it was the House's duty to subpoena Ambassador Bolton.
That's not the way that this chamber should allow impeachments to be presented to it.
Democrats were relying on 4 Republican votes to extend the trial. Maine Susan Collins says she will vote in favor of witnesses. And this morning, Utah Senator Mitt Romney's team writing on Twitter, quote, he wants to hear from Ambassador Bolton. But 2 other key swing votes, retiring Senator Lamar Alexander and Senator Lisa Murkowski, have said they've heard enough and will vote no on witnesses. If the motion for new witnesses and documents fails, that will likely set up a vote to acquit President Trump late tonight or early Saturday morning. Mona Kosarabdi, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Indiana lawmakers have been back at work for 1 month, and one of the first major deadlines passed this week. Tonight, we take a look at some of the bills that still have a chance at becoming law and some that are now dead. A bill that would require the Marion County prosecutor to charge people for possessing small amounts of marijuana was approved this week. Prosecutor Ryan Mears has announced his office won't prosecute for less than an ounce, but that may change. Pregnant women in the workplace may get more accommodations from their employer if a Senate bill becomes law. The bill would give pregnant workers more frequent breaks, a private non-bathroom space, or assistance with manual labor. Another bill would prevent teachers in schools from being punished for last year's low I-Learn scores. And lastly, it could be illegal to hold your phone while driving under a House bill that passed this week. Now for some bills now no longer being considered, a bill to decriminalize marijuana possession into an infraction did not get a hearing in the Indiana Senate. Another that did not get heard was a bill to cap a 30-day supply of insulin at $50. But the bill's author says it may get put into a different bill as an amendment. A proposal to make basketball the official state sport wasn't heard in such a short session. And a bill to make feminine hygiene products tax-free did not get a hearing. And technically, these dead bills could come back as amendments in other bills, but that's unlikely in these cases. The next major deadline is next week, when bills have to be out of their chamber of origin. Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6, late to school and worried parents. We are working for you and taking concerns about the school bus to the district. But we found out new at 5:30.
And just minutes away here at 5, the coronavirus is affecting more than the health of hundreds of people. It's taking a toll on world financial markets. A look at how this could affect every household.
And here we go. Here's the temperature scale, and you can see right up to 50 degrees. And look, we'll be up and over on several days in the short-term forecast. We'll unveil the total 7-day outlook coming up.
Just like doing that.
Tonight, funeral arrangements are set for John Andretti, the veteran auto racer who died yesterday after a 3-year battle with colon cancer. There will be a prayer service in North Carolina on Monday, but his funeral will be Thursday in Indianapolis at St. Peter and Paul Cathedral downtown. Family will receive friends from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. prior to the funeral mass at the church. The funeral will be at 1 o'clock. Burial will be private. After his diagnosis, John championed the message of encouraging everyone to get a colonoscopy once you turn 50. He did not. He waited a few years. He started the campaign, Check It for Andretti. Today, we talk with a doctor about the importance of those screenings.
We all need to get checked before we ever get symptoms. Not only can we find it before it's gotten to the point where it's going to kill you, but colon cancer is amazing because you can actually prevent it. If you go into the colon, which you can do with colonoscopy, not disturb the structure of the organ, not disturb the function of it, remove these polyps, people will have their chance of developing colon cancer dramatically reduced.
Well, common symptoms of colon cancer are bleeding and pain, but again, the doctor said that if you wait, symptoms appear, about 50% of people are actually going to die.
Flu deaths in Indiana jump again according to new numbers released today from the state. The figure now stands at 45, up from 38 last week. The largest number of deaths are in the 65 and older age group. 24, there's one more death in Marion County for a total of 10 overall. At this time last year, there had been 20 deaths from the flu, so we are more than doubled in 2019, but neither number is as high as 2018. In week 4 of that year, the number was 136. Now to the spread of the coronavirus and concern about the economic impact caused by the Dow Jones Industrial Average to plunge more than 600 points today.
Investors are worried about the potential global economic impact of the outbreak that originated in China. The number of cases worldwide is closing in on 10,000 with the death toll above 200. So far, there are 6 cases in the U.S., no deaths. And we learned today that a possible case in Porter County in Indiana is not the coronavirus. The World Health Organization has declared this a global health emergency, and the State Department is urging Americans not to go to China. Most airlines in the U.S. have scaled back or even suspended their flights to and from China. Indiana University today announced that it is suspending travel to China for all faculty, staff, and students. The suspension will be reconsidered when advisories are lifted.
Taylor University in Upland has canceled a study abroad program in China due to coronavirus concerns. This was supposed to be the first semester of a business-related program in Xi'an, China. Now, the program was not in or near Wuhan, the center of the outbreak, but the university determined it was best at this time to cancel it.
China is a growing economic power throughout the world, and so this is going to be an opportunity for our students to learn in that setting. But ultimately, the best thing about it is we want to have them not only have this life-changing educational experience, at the same time we want to bring them back safely and reunite them with their moms and dads.
The university has 2 students and a professor who recently returned from China. Even though they were not in Wuhan, the school has asked them to stay off of campus for 2 weeks, the time it takes for coronavirus symptoms to show.
Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joining us now with your Storm Team 6 forecast. And this is the last day of January. We're about to embark on a new month.
Hello, February. We average about 6.5 inches of snow in the month of February. Latest outlook kind of hints at above average temperatures, and you'll see, at least for the first few days here, temperatures are going to climb quite a bit. I just want to show you the cold air is bottled up way to the north, the very northern latitudes, so nothing cold even in Ontario, southern Canada. They're enjoying balmy temperatures, 31 in Minneapolis, 34 in Chicago, and the central Indiana temperatures around the 40-degree mark. I showed you earlier the departing area of snow off to the east, off to our west. Another little system will at least increase our chance for some rain-snow mix through the first half of tomorrow. Not an overwhelming chance we'll see this, and I think it will be lighter than what we had in spots during the day today. Lots of clouds, 39 our temperature, 40 in Greencastle, 41 in Terre Haute. Exciting part of this forecast really is Sunday. I think that may be the shining day, literally and figuratively, within the 7-day forecast for you to check out here in a second. Say hello to Dutch. Dutch is on his perch there in the family room, nice and relaxed. Carolyn Evans sent in his picture, and you can send your dog's picture to me as well at kevin.gregory@WRTV.com. Be happy to take your dog for a walk during the forecast. Temperatures will not change much this evening, in the 30s. The clouds pretty much keeping us steady. 42 tomorrow, then a big jump on Sunday up to 54. Lots of sunshine there. We've got that slight chance of a little rain snow mix through the first half of tomorrow. 7 a.m. the gray of cloud cover. Off to the west, you see the mix and then some light snow potential. 10 a.m. Kokomo, Peru, on up toward Angola and South Bend. By 1 o'clock, not much happening. I think we may see some drizzle through the day. It's just kind of hard to shake the clouds, but that is the game plan for the second half of the weekend. Your morning mix, temperatures above freezing through the afternoon, should warm in some spots to the low 40s. 42 in Bloomington, Columbus in the low 40s. Average this time of year right at about 37. Sunday morning, there's your cloud cover, eastern half of the state at 7 a.m. I let this run out. Notice what disappears. The clouds move away, sunshine begins to take over, and the wind will increase as well, 20 to 30 miles per hour, but temperatures steadily climb. And in the 50s, boy, you combine 50s with sunshine on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. All things are pointing toward a nice end to the weekend. Here's a 7-day forecast early next week. Still very mild. Monday, 57. Transition to Tuesday. We're in the 50s, but rain is likely, and then it opens the door gradually to colder temperatures. 44 Wednesday will be in the 30s for highs Thursday and Friday.
New month?
Have a good weekend.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Next here on RTV6, a huge honor for one of Indiana's own. The racing world celebrates another legend with an induction into the Hall of Fame.
Keller and Keller.
A big night ahead for Indiana's own Tony Stewart. He will be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame along with his former teammate Bobby Labonte and former team owner Joe Gibbs. The 48-year-old from Columbus is a three-time NASCAR champ. He won the Brickyard 400 twice. Stewart retired from his NASCAR driving duties following the 2016 season to focus on his co-ownership of Stewart Haas Racing. He also still does some dirt track racing, by the way. Tonight's induction ceremony is at 8 o'clock in Charlotte, North Carolina.
And tonight at 6 p.m., a sexual harassment professor gives her take on the child seduction case at Tri-West. We'll show you why she says the system failed.
But first on the Now, Indy residents speaking up and making a difference about how their money is spent. The change the leaders in one community are making after they got an earful. You're watching RTV6.